join Tarsha on this journey to discover the rest. Go.
Welcome to the Adoption Journey podcast. I am your host, Tarsha Smith, and welcome to another story and another journey. Before I get started, don't forget we are doing the duffel bag, the comfort care bag. Let me back up, the comfort bag drive for the foster kids. So go to our Amazon link, the wish list. There's the duffel bags, toiletries, all the things. And on December 12th, we will be donating all of that stuff. So you can go to the Adoption Journey podcast. The link is in my bio. Or Black Adoptees Meetup. The link is also in the bio. Okay, we got that all out of the way. Family, we have a fellow adoptee all the way from Scotland by the name of Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
Hello, good evening. It is 10 p.m. in Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland.
Yeah, we had to get that time thing together. I was like, so what time is it then?
Yeah, we were supposed to go last week. I planned to go to a concert, but I was working, and that slot got taken up. But here we are.
Here we
Happy,
are. We're
happy
doing
Monday.
it. Happy Monday. So let me dive right in. My first question, how old were you when you found out you were adopted?
It was a couple of weeks before my 18th birthday. I found out from a letter.
Okay, so late discovery. So I'm gonna back all the way up. Tell me what your childhood was like because you had no clue.
Yeah, childhood was, use the word okay. Um, I was loved mainly from my adopted mum. I was a bit of uh, ashamed in many ways, ashamed of my mum and dad's accents. My mother was English, and Scottish and English is very different.
Yes,
I'm speaking very slow now, very posh,
I
so
appreciate it.
so listeners can understand my accent. So I was ashamed of my mum's accent. I was ashamed of the religion, and in the UK it's mainly Christian, and we were Muslim. I was ashamed of my skin colour. Um, Scotland, most people are white. I wanted to be white. I was ashamed of not having much money. So there was a lot of shame, and when you're young, you want to fit in.
Okay, right. And you don't even know you're adopted. So
Not at
if
that point,
tell
yeah.
me what your adoptive parents. Okay, so you were in England,
Scotland,
Scotland. No,
Scotland.
you're in. Okay, so you're in Scotland right now, but you were raised in.
No, Scotland, yeah.
Oh,
So
in
I've got,
Scotland.
yeah,
Okay.
just, I've got my adopted dad. He's Moroccan, same as me.
Okay,
My
so the skin tone is a little darker.
Not the same. I mean, him as the same
Same
skin.
like you.
We look like each other, but we're not. So
Okay.
that's where the confusion grows. And my adopted mum, she's white and she's English, but we're living in Scotland.
And
I
you're
got
Muslim.
my parents are. I kind of drifted off the religion bandwagon.
Oh,
I do believe in God, and but I'm not very religious. I just try and believe in being a good person.
okay,
Um,
okay.
but yes,
That's a lot all by
my
itself, and you don't even know you're
my
adopted.
my adopted siblings, they're both white, a little bit fair skin color. So I was always wishing that I was white like my friends and white like them. And I was like, why am I the black person? I was also ashamed of my name. So I was born with no name. My adopted mum, she gave me the name, and the name was Rashid Abulfado Marini. And then at age 19, I changed my name to Ryan Anderson because I wanted to fit in, and I didn't like. But so I have a little identity crisis. When I'm in Morocco, I call myself Rashid to fit in. But when I'm in Morocco, I'm classed as Scottish, and when I'm in the UK, I'm kind of classed as Moroccan, and obviously I'm Ryan. So
Do you
many
see the
different
look
names.
on my face right now? I'm just like, wait, that's a whole lot. And you don't even know you're adopted. You have all these identity things and skin color and religion and And you don't even know. So you mentioned siblings. Are they biological to your
Yeah,
parents? Are
yeah,
they adopted
yeah.
also?
Yes, they're 20 years older, so
Oh,
they're 15 years, sorry, both. They're biological, so I'm the only one who's adopted.
okay. So at 18, what happened? How do you find out?
My brother hinted to my mum, right, we should tell him. The plan was to tell me maybe at 16, and it then jumped to 18, and my mum didn't tell me out with love because she was scared, which I understand. But um, regarding late discovery adoptees, you are supposed to tell adoptees as soon as possible.
Hmm.
Uh, as much as how hard it's the information is going to be. The question is, when is the right time to tell someone? When they're age 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 30, 40? I've known adoptees that have found out in their 70s. Um, it's a difficult conversation to have, but um, I believe the right thing to do is to tell the truth.
So at 18, your mother, how did she tell you? What did she say?
She wrote me a letter,
Oh,
and I burst into tears. So at that point, I was living in England because
okay.
my parents had got divorced, and I moved back up to Scotland because I love Scotland.
Hmm.
I was only down there for 3 months anyway, and I got a job. I got my own flat, and it was me against the world. And I started working, and I got actually introduced to the party life, which was so much fun. Going to the clubs at age 18, um, and when you when I met people in the clubs, it was like they were my friend. So I was this likable character, and I enjoyed.
So is this so are you
This was after when I found out I was adopted. So what I done was, which I think a lot of adoptees do, is they put their adoption to the back of their mind. They get on with their young adult life, and then
hmm
later on in life, sometimes the adoption can play on their mind, which is what happened to me. So I believe in some cases it's easier to ignore adoption when you're young, because you've got so many distractions. So
yeah.
when life starts to creep up on you, that's when any issues um, get played to your mind. My question is, why when I was 18, why did I not want to search? I was sitting having fun. Why did I not do any self development work? I
Because you
was
were 18.
I
I
was sitting out in the pubs and partying,
Right.
yeah,
You were
getting drunk.
living your best life at 18. Yeah.
Well, the question was I living my best life, or
In your
what?
mind at 18
Yeah,
you were.
true. If I
Yeah.
could, if I could turn back, I would maybe do it differently. But
Probably. A lot of us would do
what?
18 over probably. But in that moment, you just got this information and like you said, you put it in the back of your mind and then now you're going to go and do all the things, but I bet you probably didn't know it then, but I bet you were probably even overindulging in some things because you got this weight hanging over you that you're not ready to deal with, but you're moving in such a way. I see you shaking your head, yes.
Yeah, I had lots of friends. When you're younger, you got many. Sometimes you have many friends. I can't speak for everyone, but usually you have a big friend group, and as the years go, it dwindles down.
Sure.
And yeah, being in the clubs in Edinburgh, it was fantastic. I enjoyed it.
You spend a lot of time in these clubs.
Yeah. What about yourself? You as well? Oh no, oh no comment.
No, yeah, 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 yeah. 18, 19, yeah, absolutely. And so, are you even thinking about your adoption? Are you just out here, just in the club?
So what happened was I found out I was adopted. So then the whole world, my brain came crashing down, and I felt the pressure that I need to do something great with my life. And you need to feel worthy that you were chosen. You needed to feel um, likable, need to be a people pleaser, and yeah, so all these traits that most adoptees have, that's what I was doing when I was younger, and it was a great feeling, having so many connections around me.
Okay,
Um,
let me back up just a little bit though. So when you get this letter, and I know that your parents are divorced at this point, do you have a conversation with either one of them?
I would um, I would be a little bit rude to them. Say
Mm,
my mum would cry every week, every day, and yeah, I was very immature, um, blaming them, and
what were you blaming them for?
blaming them for adopting me. Uh,
Oh,
and you should have left me in Morocco, or you lied to me. Um, yeah, so I was making them accountable for all my issues, and yeah, just doing as much as I could to hurt them. And over, I would say that was probably for the first 2 or 3 months, or maybe even up to a year. But I would and then I would slowly start to mature. But I'd sometimes chuck it back in their face. And whenever I had a really bad mental health day, then I would say lots of nasty stuff, and then say
s-
sorry after it.
so let me ask you this. When she wrote you that letter, did she tell you your story? Like,
No, so he just wrote it. It was just a 3-page letter, just saying, which I still have to this day, and sometimes I read it, which takes me back. Uh,
mm,
and she did it. She done it full of love, and it was very nice. And yeah, it was. We, I personally felt it like it was a taboo subject, so I didn't want to talk about it, and I distanced myself from my adopted family,
mm,
and went down the route of partying with alcohol and drugs. And so some people say that they turned. So I dabbled in alcohol and drugs before I found out I was adopted, and I had fun. I liked it. Um,
okay.
but I would never say I was addicted. I could stop at any point and say
Hmm.
I've been sober for a month. So I was always very strong minded. Um, but this usually the journey when people have with alcohol or drugs is it's okay at the start, and then it gets a grip of you. And I've seen that happen to a lot of people, and even sometimes to me. I started losing a lot of days in depression because I was known as a party boy. And how long can you keep that up for? Some people
Yeah.
years and years. Not me. I started to be a lightweight, as we call it in.
Can you, did you ever classify yourself as being addicted to alcohol and drugs or never?
No, never, never. It
Okay.
was always. I could always stop when I wanted. Wasn't ever, never really turned to it. It was just fun. It was really good fun until it stopped getting fun. Where
Okay,
you,
so let
I
me,
was meaning like where I was get carried home or I'd be sick. Um,
not carried home.
yeah, well, falling asleep,
Yeah.
or if I was ever being inappropriate. And having, luckily, I was a likable character, so in the morning I would apologise to whoever for what I'd done. They would forgive me, but then the next week I'd do it again to someone else. But because I was a likable character, I got away with it a lot. But still not excuse when you, because it's not
Mm.
nice if you're upsetting someone.
So at what point do you, how long do you keep this up until you're like, okay, I'm ready to ask the questions and find out who I
Yeah.
really am?
So this is my story. Found out I was adopted, got a job, then I took my stepped my dipped my toe in the water with the island called Ibiza, which is in Spain. This is a party island. I loved it. I loved that. So I lived every for 5 years every summer. I would go travel there and party there for 5 years. So everyone thought I had an amazing life. Ibiza for the summer, then traveling for the winter, and then traveling was my way of coping. But every holiday was full of alcohol and drugs.
Mm.
But it was fun. It
You
was
keep
very.
saying it was fun.
Yeah, but because I don't want to say that it wasn't, because it was. I can still prove now that doing it sober is good, but it was fun. So it wasn't like a sad story, but it was an
Yeah.
escapism looking back. And then what happened was COVID. Uh, so COVID meant you can't travel,
Right.
and my hangovers were getting worse and worse, losing days in depression, losing mental health, suicidal, and then I'd made the decision to go a year sober, and that's where that, and I also asked questions about my adoption record, speaking, having these conversations with my parents.
So who did you
Having
ask first about your adoption
my
record?
mum, my mum.
And what did she
So,
say?
so, so she actually had a document with like the doctor who looked after me, my certificates and stuff, my the certificate from the hospital. Even though there's no information there, just the hospital to look after me. But that's something.
Right.
And I never looked at this file. I didn't know it was there because I wasn't interested.
So how old were you when they adopted you? I know you're
I
little.
think about the my mum picked me out of a line of babies at age 3 months, but and I didn't actually get back to Scotland till age 6 months. So what happened was she planned to take me away, and some of the paperwork wasn't right, so she had to leave me with the family and come because they ran out of money, so to come back in 3 months' time. So I did hear this in a podcast from a psychologist that in your early years of life, the amount of times you get passed about can cause trauma. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you're aware of that. So I've been passed from my birth mum, who's
Mm-hmm.
unknown, to the hospital, to my adopted mum, to then my foster mum, and back to my adopted mum. And who knows by if that in the early years that might have caused some trauma.
Oh, yeah, it did.
But
Yeah, that's
uh,
that attachment. Yeah,
My
that attachment
my
thing.
adopted mum's fantastic to me.
Mm.
Regarding, she's not perfect, but she's great. We speak every day, and I want to search for my birth family, but my adopted mum's my number one. So some people think that, and my adopted mum, she sometimes gets a bit insecure, saying, "Don't leave me." And I went, "Don't worry, it's fine." Um, yeah. So some people search because they want to see their mum and have that happily ever after moment. I just go just because I'm curious, and I'm even looking for a cousin, because if you think that I don't know, being a foundling, so I was found on the street. So there's so many layers to my adoption, being a different race, a different country, being found on the street, finding out at 18, then keeping it a secret. Um, the, I don't know anyone in the world who's blood related to me. And to some people that's important, to some people that's not. But at age 31, that's when it started to really get important to me. And that's where I made a YouTube video. I went sober, made a YouTube video, a written story, and then from that podcast came, people asked me to jump on their podcasts. Then I made a film about being sober. I visited Morocco 3 times searching, with many dramas every time, financially exploited, nearly getting kidnapped. Um,
Okay,
uh,
wait. Time out.
four, four, four
Wait.
or five, 4 or 5 false. Uh, so if someone sees you in Morocco, they go, "I know your mum." Oh no, it's not her. Sorry. So all these false alarms.
Okay, so all right, so I have.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were found on the street where?
In a city called El Jadida from a policeman.
Okay. And so from what you know, you were born in that city?
I don't know. I think
You
so. I
don't
don't know. So
don't
what
know.
happens in Morocco? They're the religion Islam, Muslim. So if this is all speculation.
Okay.
So positively thinking, I could be a prince, and I could be royalty.
Yes.
I could be royalty in
You
Morocco,
could be.
right? And for some reason, I'm the heir to this throne, so I was left on the street. Um, so negatively thinking, my mother could have cheated on her partner, which is in Arabic they call haram. Again, forbidden. In English, she could have been young. She could have been single. So that in 1990, this was frowned upon deeply. So what tends to happen is they give birth on the street or give birth to the baby and leave them and go and start a new life. But
Wow.
this is all speculation.
Speculation. Sure.
Yeah, because who knows my story. So this happened. There was a documentary which said 30 babies a day. This was happening to in Morocco, and I always said there's worse countries out there like China and India. So this is the details of Morocco, but they are
My
very strict
gosh.
in religion.
Okay.
So in
So,
the hospital or the orphanage, there was about 12 babies there.
and that's the line. That's when your mom picked you out.
My mum asked. So my mum and dad were living in Morocco at the time.
Okay.
She's seen all the kids which were poor, and she asked my father for about 6 months to a year, please can we adopt? Please can we adopt? He was saying no. Then he's eventually said yes. They went, we're going to get a boy because if we get a girl, she'll grow up and start her own life. So we're getting a boy. So the first baby she picked up was a girl. Next one was me. So that's how I came across.
Okay. So you talked about when how your adoptive mom feels about you searching.
Yeah.
Sometimes she's okay. Sometimes
Well, she's
she's
worried for me because I'm if I'm going to go to Morocco, I book it the week before or sometimes the day before.
yeah.
Um, I am quite an outrageous character where you see me doing videos in Morocco going, Salam alaikum everyone, hello, uh, getting loads of attention, and 9 times out of 10 the people have been friendly, um, and it have came in some sticky situations over there.
Have you taken a DNA test?
I've done 6 on the 6 sites. My highest match is a fourth cousin. So there's people out there called DNA angels.
Yeah,
They go
yeah.
out and try and help you.
Uh-huh.
Each DNA angel says, Ryan, sorry, not enough information. I've tried nearly every angle. So when I go to Morocco, I go to these TV studios. I go, hi, my name's Ryan. Do you want to take my story? And then they say, yes, please. As soon as I give them a 2-minute lowdown of what's happened to me.
So when you've the DNA test that you've taken, have you taken tests in Morocco?
They don't have any.
They don't have.
So
Okay.
these are the struggles. So by me telling my story, these are the
Yeah.
struggles I have to go. All I can go is jump on TV. Who's got the guts to jump on TV in Morocco, and
And
then from
say,
Morocco get many leads? You,
well,
um,
I want to help you with the search and reunion thing because you're looking at someone that has done it twice. And hopefully your mom will hear this. So hopefully this will help her too.
well,
And
let's actually say hopefully my anyone will hear this. So I'm not looking for a mum. I'm looking for a mum, dad, auntie, uncle, cousin,
anybody,
cousins.
I got you. I
I'm
understand.
aiming low, just
Right.
to for even a little bit of success.
I understand that because as adoptees, we're curious because we have a right to know like where we come from, who we look like. We're looking for that genetic mirror. We're looking for, why do I do things the way that I do? That DNA. You're looking for that connection. And I'll say this to all adoptive parents that I will say, I'm gonna say 95% of us are not trying to replace you. We just are curious about, because we have a whole background. We have a whole another piece of us out there, and we want to know. Because I know that's what it was for me. I too come from a loving, adoptive, my family. Like that's my family, and I'm only saying adoptive because, but that's my family.
Yeah, I
But
would
it
say
didn't stop me from going to find everybody else.
yeah. My mum was great, dad not so great. So when you say part of that, you so sometimes all it needs is one good parent for you to come out all right. So I will give my mum as much praise on that side. Me and my father we speak, but we're not. He's not there.
I wonder.
There's
Oh
a
God.
he's not there emotionally, even to his birth kids. There's a
Okay.
different subject, which, yeah, but I'll always shout my mum's praises from the rooftops,
Yeah.
and I do as much as I can, and so to make her happy.
So go back for how many times have you gone to Morocco and jumped on these television shows, or how
Yeah,
many times have you done that?
um, 3 times I think. Twice. Sorry, twice.
And what kind of shows are like? What are you?
One show has 9.5 million. I can't remember what the other ones are. These are just ones. The one's about a finding family show.
Okay.
Okay.
So even
So
a show like that over there, and they don't have their own DNA test of that's
no,
interesting.
so I need to pay for the DNA tests.
Okay.
Uh, so I've had about 6 or 7 people say they're my mum. I think I've done about 4 DNA tests.
Mm-hmm.
So and each one was a false alarm. But
Mm.
when they meet you, they fill you with hope. You're my uncle. You're my son. You're my son. I knew it. I trust the God. They're holding my hand, looking me in the eye, and I know what I'm doing here. I'm like, thank you for believing that, but let's wait till the evidence comes. And the evidence it takes 2 months for a DNA test.
Yeah.
So one man I went on the TV show, came back home. He went direct to the TV show and said, I'm Ryan's uncle. And he actually looks like me. And everyone sent me congratulations. And then when we done the DNA test, it wasn't correct.
Wow.
And what he done is he put my number in the family group chat. So
Oh no.
there's about 10 or 15 of them messaging me, and and I don't speak Arabic. Not many of them speak. Only 2 of them speak English, and they're all excited, but it's me that suffers when it's a
Yeah.
false alarm. So what the comment? So I'm quite vocal about my searching story, and the comments I get from people are, Ryan, how's Morocco going? And my question is, I've I've just it costs a lot of money to go, so I've not been in a year. Oh, it's cost a lot the way I do it. I like to go out to the clubs and do the touristy stuff.
We know.
I do it sober. For a Coca
Good.
Cola in the club, a Coca Cola in the club costs €10, $10.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
so
glad you're doing it sober. That's all that matters.
yes, I am. I'm currently over 2 years sober now.
Congratulations.
But I I do miss the party life, but I'm also I choose setting a good example over anything that I miss. And not many people say that. Many people say, "Yeah, I'm living my best life," and sober's amazing. For me, I it's difficult. Not I want to go back to the partying, but I'm choosing the right path and not ignoring any of the urges because
I wanna
I like to set a good example.
I wanna know, because I know that you said that you didn't classify yourself as being addicted, but when you were doing all the drugs and alcohol, were you did you feel like you were trying to bury that pain of finding out you were adopted?
Well, when after the party,
Okay.
the adoption feelings would come to light, and that would get me really upset. So maybe it was subconsciously just hiding it.
Yeah.
But there were to defend that, there was times where I'd have alcohol or I had drugs, and I'd wake up in the morning and I'd be fine. But there was days where I lost. It went up to 5 days, 6 days. Friends would tap on my door. I'm quite a outgoing person, so if people would phone me, I'd ignore it, and you're just sitting in bed
5
wasting
or
away.
6 days.
Yeah,
That's a long
and
time.
so that's when you know there's a problem.
Hmm.
And when you choose the party life, and starts to creep up on you like that, that's when it's a worry. So that I always promote the word balance, and everyone's balance is different. And
Right.
obviously, when I was having the depression was hitting me hard, I hadn't got my balance right with the partying. And some people's balance is none. Each is different, and I'm choosing none at the moment.
Yeah.
Um,
We
as
love
much as
that.
I'm saying that I miss the party, I don't know if I do, but my imagination is taking me there. But there's also been times where um, I've thought sobriety is the best ever,
Hmm.
and where I've managed to start a business, I've managed to do
Okay.
many other things, and I managed to think clearer, and my mental health's got a bit better sometimes. So there is many positives, but there's also I do at times still feel lost.
Mm. Let me ask you about your siblings.
Mhm.
Where do they fall into all of this now that you're openly speaking about this?
Um, they they've got really their own lives. We don't really keep in touch much.
Oh, okay.
Uh, they live in different cities, so
Hmm.
um, Edinburgh's my home, and yeah, there's kind of my brother did come to Morocco with me the first time, which was very kind of him, and he was like, Ryan, you've made so much progress because and it came to so the story is you go to Morocco, you have to go to the hospital, then you go to the courts, registry office. Sometimes they send you round in a circle, and it can be very frustrating. And you think you're getting somewhere. And when I go over, I only go for 5 days. Um, but yeah, my siblings, they've got their own lives. They've got kids,
Okay.
they've got partners, and they're
Okay.
older. So and my mum, she doesn't know how to help me. Dad's not around, so it's kind of just been on my own road. Um,
Right. That's why I asked the question because that's what I was that's why I was curious about your siblings because you said, the relationship with your dad isn't that great. And then you have mom. Then, so if the siblings, they're also kind of not there,
yeah.
I'm sure you feel like you're just kind of just.
But the other part is living alone. I've lived alone for nearly 20 years,
Mm,
and so that can be difficult. And also never. So when I kept my adoption a secret, I wouldn't let anyone close to me. So I've never had a partner. Obviously, commitment issues, and yeah, that's been very difficult. Um, and then part of me wants to settle down when I'm at this age, but I
Can
feel
I
like I'm
ask what age?
35, nearly 36. Um, but part of me feels like, oh, it's too late. So that can play on my
Who
mind.
told you that?
Society, I don't know. Um,
It is not too late.
you never know. But so the way I survive anyway, I live day by day, and everything has to be action packed. Where from not going to a concert, going on a holiday, I'm exercising, or I'm an adrenaline junkie. I need to be going to new
And I'm
places.
sure there's somebody out there that can match your energy.
To be continued.
You haven't found them yet, huh?
very, I've now turned into a very spontaneous person where I would book things the day before. Um, so yeah, that gets. These are my new thrills now that I don't drink or take drugs.
Right, right. That's, I want to ask this. You brought up commitment issues. What
Yeah.
has that looked like in the past? What
I
does,
think-
like, you get into a relationship and then, like, at what point do you bolt?
Well, I would always say I've never had a relationship. Never said the words to someone. Would you go out with me? Would you be my girlfriend? I've never said the words. Um, so when some people would have feelings for me, um, I would always get cold feet and yeah, not willing to take it further. And most of the people I've chatted to, we're still friends.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, there's just, and even when I was in Ibiza, that was a bit difficult because we're all just a party island. But yeah, I would just not let people to get close to me.
Mm, that,
And
go ahead.
I find it more difficult trying to create a connection while being sober. It's not I've not had much luck. Because when I wasn't sober, yeah, it was more easier to get find girls or meet up with them.
Friend girls.
Yeah. Or when you're in the clubs, that's how it was. You go to parties and stuff, and
Yeah.
the alcohol was doing all the talking.
It's, sure. But sometimes they call that liquid courage too.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it.
That's,
Uh,
you
uh,
can
when
say.
when 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 I was, because sometimes I'm like the party starter and the good vibes. When I was that guy, that was I felt like I was a man.
Oh,
When I was falling asleep, or uh, yeah, just embarrassing, then that's where I've. In the UK, we call it having the fear. If you've done anything silly the next game, when you were out,
so have you ever had any therapy?
I've had therapy about I think about 9 times.
Okay.
Well, one therapist did say, "Ryan, you're a bit too much." I think I've got undiagnosed ADHD. Um, whenever I get a therapist, I say, I need the best therapist in the world to even scratch the surface. I want
Mm.
my brain challenge me, and I can see in some of the therapists' faces that
They're like,
they're,
yikes.
they're better than me. And one did say it's too much, and I actually loved that she said that because I was like, I broke her. So I was just like, I so but so not to knock therapy. When the first therapist I opened up to, that was amazing. That was the biggest weight off my shoulder.
Hmm.
But everything went in stages. Where at first I speak to the doctor and I told the doctor, then I had my first therapy session and that was amazing. But I actually this was 2020, so I'll rewind a year in 2019. I went for therapy and I couldn't open up and I just walked out. So yeah, so it just means you have to be ready to take the therapy. And 2019 I wasn't ready. 2020 I was ready, and I've had many since. But I'm really disappointed in the last session. Um, so the way I keep keep myself is just through the wellness community, and that's usually staying active,
Hmm.
cold water swimming, cold water therapy. Um, what else? Yeah, I like my exercise, so but football, gym, swimming, sauna, steam room, um,
Yeah, you got to stay active.
and concerts. Concerts are the big one. I love a sing song. So
Yes, concerts are amazing. I love a good
even though
concert too.
I can't sing,
That's okay. So your story, because when I'm hearing outside of the adoption, just that mental, the well-being, your mental health, because it seemed to have taken a toll on you. And in
yeah,
the moment, you didn't even realize it, but now
So what I'll go back to is regarding mental health. I also have an illness called Behçet's, and that affects my immune system. And
Okay.
maybe I was born with it from my adopted family, my birth family, so that's a lead, but still no luck. Um, and that made me take medication,
Okay.
and because I lost a bit of my eyesight, and I've got problems with my immune system. And then it also affects your mental health on top of the adoption. So I was taking antidepressants, and I was on them for about 13 years. And some of my friends, the masculine ones, say, "Stop taking meds, get off them." And I went, "Yeah, I'll try it." And I think I have tried it on 2 or 3 times, and one time I did feel suicidal, where I was really not wanting to be here, and I took a couple extra thinking that would in a way to self harm, but so that was like I was ready to die at that day. Um,
Oh,
and currently now, fast forward to now, I'm actually off antidepressants, and I feel good, which has been the last 3 months.
that is always so interesting to hear that antidepressants can make you feel suicidal.
Not meaning coming off them, and so I was
Coming
reliant on them.
off of them.
I was
Oh,
reliant,
oh, okay, okay.
so I was reliant on them, and I have been for years, and I kind of accepted the fact. But actually, the past couple of months, I've managed to stay strong and be off them, and maybe I'm in a good place. Who knows? I don't like to say I'm in a good place because it feels uncomfortable. Uh, but life's okay. I'm searching for these crazy highs, but I don't think that's a healthy way of living, is it? Um, because my dopamine level's high, but I wish I could just. Sometimes I can bring myself to back to reality and go, doing nothing's okay. You don't need to be out doing something. Each person's different, isn't it? But some people sometimes sit alone on a Saturday night. That's heaven to some people.
Mm,
To me, I'm
mm.
just like I'm a social butterfly,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I've now lately I felt a bit uncomfortable going out sober because before I'd be like, yeah, look at me, I'm sober, drinking my coffee, and now I'm like, that's a bit boring now. Um, but yeah, I do get sad when I'm alone on the weekends. Um, yeah, I feel like something's missing. But
Mm,
life's been 6 or 7 out of 10 so far,
okay,
which is not bad.
okay.
Um, and I'm really pushing to try and get an 8 or a 9. I don't know how, but positive thinking.
So my last question I want to ask you, if you had to speak to someone that's very similar to you who like knows nothing, but they want to find their birth family or find some answers, what would you say to them? Like, what encouragement would you give them?
Get us a supportive network around you, um, and that can be anyone. When I first, I call it opened my eyes to the adoptee world. The adoption community was fantastic, and made lots of friends in the adoption community. So it's that can be a community to support you because the people are the ones that know it best because each person's experience is different. You have to find your right group because I have seen a lot of adoptees clash, but there's also been some great friendships there. Um, this is for those who, if they don't have a supportive group, there is supportive people out there, and yeah, it's really important to have people to fall back on, people to chat about your story, to help you navigate your feelings, because sometimes adoptees can't have an adoptee to adoptee, a conversation will be different compared to adoptee and a family member or a friend
Absolutely.
because they might not understand. And then a non-adopted person can say something, and that might trigger an adoptee, and there's an argument, or you've upset someone. When an adopted person, when we're brought into a room, most of the time the conversation is flowing, and in lockdown, these support groups were fantastic, where I met people from all over the world, and we're, the way I work is, if you're adopted, I've got your back. Um,
And yeah, and that's what it is, because like you said, when the conversation just flows, because we get it. We get it. And what I have found, and I'm so glad that you talked about community, because um there are people that don't even realize that the community exists.
That's correct. That was me as well before
Yeah.
lockdown. And then, yeah, as I said, when I opened my eyes to the adoption world, there's books, there's films, there's podcasts, Facebook groups, there's a face-to-face meetups. I actually arranged, in the last 2 years, 6 face-to-face meetups in Edinburgh.
That's
Uh,
amazing. I'll go ahead and plug my own. We have the Black
yeah,
Adoptees meetup.
yeah. I've not done. I don't know if I'm doing one this year, but there should be meetups all over the world. And the people, the meetups are usually just set up by adoptees taking the initiative.
Yep.
But really, the government should help, and we don't get much help, do we, as adults?
No, we just put it together and put it out there and tell the people where we're going. In 2026, Black Adoptees meetup is going to Philadelphia in
Mhm.
October.
Yeah, what I'd like to say there is, for those who are uneducated, there's the adoption triad. There's the birth parents, the adopted parents, and the adoptee.
Yeah.
And I would say the adopted parents are at the top, birth parents in the middle, and the adoptees at the bottom. But really, it should be
It should be
flipped.
the other way
Uh,
around.
us
Yeah.
adoptees have got we're the lived experience, but we don't get listened to.
But
And
we are out here changing the narrative and
right,
changing right. So the generations coming behind us, they're gonna know, because we are doing so much work now that
yeah,
the generations before us didn't do. So
I, I just try my best to try and inspire others. As much as I have got a sad story, but I'm doing my best to live my best life. And
yes, you are.
for adoptees or anyone, sometimes talking about adoption or doing too much adoption stuff, it can get you sucked up. So we have to deal with our adoption and have to deal with normal life.
Right. You
So
have to be a whole person.
So every now and again, one day I'll be like, right, I'm going to search for my family. Then I'll not think about it for 3 months. Then I'll go, right, I'm going to search again. Or yes, so it's trying to find that balance to where you enjoy life, whether it's me going on a holiday or working or just getting on, just being quiet, to them, me talking about adoption, raising awareness, and yes, sometimes your energy drops.
Hmm.
So this is what's I've noticed with some people's adoptee, because they can either get overwhelmed or have a bad experience, or sometimes have too much of a good experience and just feel strange. So yeah, we do need times out from the adoption world at times.
A- absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
positive, we're always welcome back, which is nice. But
Absolutely. And there's that too. I
because
want
it,
to thank you so much, Ryan, for your
Mhm.
story, for your bravery, because you are wide open. You're an open book, and I wish you well on your journey to continue to find answers.
Thank you so much. I wasn't always an open book, but I'm doing my best now, and I don't know if it's a good thing or not.
It's a good
But
thing.
I'm using my vulnerability as my superpower.
It's
So
a good thing. It's a very good thing, because
I,
somebody's going to hear this and you're going to help somebody.
I hope so. So
So it's important.
please reach out if you're adopted or if you know anyone from Morocco. Please share my story. I last year I got a poster created, and it's just got all the main facts onto my Instagram of my story, and that got shared, and I was getting lots of traction. But you need to be on top of these things. So that was a year.
Absolutely.
That was a year ago. But round 4 for Morocco for me in January. So
Oh, keep
wish
us
me luck.
posted.
Wish me luck.
definitely keep us posted on that journey.
Thank you so much.
Don't leave me. Give me 1 second. And on that note, bye, family.
Journey on. You need a pie with the good? Oh yeah, what is the one?